once again. I'm thrown off. Remember, I'm thrown off by the countdown because I can hear it on your end. So it's a delay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's before I was able to get it.
I can hear you in the kitchen too. It's throwing me off. Anyway, welcome to day 3 of the Brand Creation Challenge. So excited to have you here. And I think this has been going really well. I've been really pleasantly surprised to see all the participation and all the great comments we've been getting from everyone so far.
Yeah, it's pleasantly unexpected. It's great.
Yeah, it's been really, really awesome. So let me go ahead and add my screen to the stream.
Looks like we've got a couple of people here already. We've got Jennifer here. She says hi.
Hello, Jennifer.
Martha, she says hi.
Hello, Martha. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to create an automatic, never-ending supply of traffic. That means people to your website, not just any people, but people who are actually interested in what you're talking about and interested in your products.
Never-ending sounds kind of impossible.
I know, but it's true. But before we do that, let me know, what were your aha moments from yesterday? Did anything stand out or really turn on a light bulb for you from yesterday?
Donna says hi. Lisa says hi. Oh, people on. This is great. Mila's from Utah.
Any aha moments from last training, which was, we covered about how to understand your customer avatar and the importance of your customer avatar. And then we kind of drilled down a little deeper on how you can actually craft your brand image, like your tagline, your value proposition, to actually appeal and attract your customer avatar to your brand. And also, I don't know if anyone actually built their website yet, or if you already have your website, but we also shared that video in the group, went ahead and shared that video on how to actually get your website set up, since that is the key pillar for your brand. If you're not ready for creating your website yet, you're still working on your tagline or your value proposition and figuring out your avatar, then that's totally fine as well. But that's out there as well. So that's what we talked about yesterday.
So Donna says that she missed that training that you just talked about.
Okay. Well, that's very important training. It's kind of very a key cog in these 5 steps. So be sure to watch the replay before it goes away.
And then we've got some aha moments in here. We've got Martha says that she narrowed her target even more.
Oh, great.
And also she got started with setting up her website. Woohoo!
Oh, awesome. There we go. There's an overachiever right there. Awesome job.
And Jennifer says, yes, I'm narrowing in on my target customer base and who I want to attract and the content.
Awesome.
And then Kathy says the matrix was very helpful.
Ah, good.
Yeah, when we were first introduced to that whole well, he calls it is it actually called the matrix? Is that
that was my term.
That was your.
I don't know if it had a name when our coach showed it to us.
Mind blowing when we first. I was like, what?
It's so simple, but it's
so
powerful.
Simple. It is powerful. Jennifer says, I've watched a little bit and it's a bit overwhelming. Need to do it in bites and chunks.
Yeah, it is definitely a lot of information, so it might feel a little bit like you're drinking water out of a fire hose right now. But today we're going to talk about how we can reduce the overwhelm as well. So be prepared for that.
So this is a good training for you to be on. All right. She said, takes me. Jennifer says takes me longer to learn tech stuff, but I'm trying.
Yeah, well, a lot of this is kind of more, I guess, big concept marketing concepts here. Yeah, the building the website can be a little bit techy, so that's why we put that tutorial together, walking you through step by step how to build your website.
Lisa says, super glad to get my tagline done. Been struggling with that.
Oh, great.
Woo!
So glad that training was helpful for you then.
And then we've got something else. Keith says, I agree with Kathy. I like the Matrix.
Oh, good. All right. Well,
Mila,
or is there?
we've got one more.
Oh, go ahead.
Mila says, thanks for explaining that you can start slowly because you won't be followed overnight. I know that, but it is good to hear from someone else. And she also said that she started setting up her website as well.
Ooh, awesome. That is really encouraging to hear. So glad to hear that people are actually taking action because that is huge. And yeah, you can kind of, don't be afraid to make mistakes in the beginning because you can kind of consider it as practice because, there aren't going to be a ton of people seeing you right away. So it's okay.
Mistakes are great to make because you learn from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll learn so much faster by actually implementing and doing things versus just always preparing and never actually implementing.
You're basically spinning your wheels at that point. Mm-hmm. Jennifer says, I love that you added that tutorial on making a website. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, and that's part of our larger free course brand creation blueprint. So if you're in the process of building a website, definitely use that course to help you because that will also talk about some other things that you need for your website. All right. Well, I guess we'll get into... Oh, there's one more? Okay.
Kathy says, I was trying to set up my website, but hit a few roadblocks. This is definitely all a foreign language to me. Go slow with us and explain terms. This has been so helpful, but I feel like a baby in this world.
Yeah, sometimes I forget
the curse of knowledge.
to explain terms exactly. So if there's any terms anyone doesn't understand, just leave a comment and say you don't know what that means, and I'll do my best to define those terms and try to break things down better.
Yeah, you can feel free to ask questions throughout the training as you have them, and we won't get to them right away because we will have a Q&A at the end of this session, and I'll be going back through and finding all of your questions that you submitted so that Reagan can answer them.
All right, well,
said, yes, that was an aha yesterday that you can change as you go. I thought I was locking myself in forever, which is daunting.
Yeah, our original brand was Coastal Conservatory, and we ended up building an entirely new website. So we don't recommend doing that, but yeah, we've changed our brand and everything a lot over time because we started out way too broad, and Coastal Conservatory is not clear exactly what we're talking about. People thought maybe we're like conserving like wetlands or something. So yeah. So this will help you avoid some of those mistakes, this training. But yeah, you can definitely be flexible and you're going to adjust and adapt as you go. All right, so let's dive into the training now. So actually we're going to recap a little bit. Those value propositions. I saw some really good examples in the group. So here's some ones I really like. So Myra says, I am a coach who helps women to grow a business at home so that they can build the beautiful life they really want. So she got all the elements there. So she says, who she is. She's a coach and she has her target audience in there. She helps women to grow a business. So her audience is women interested in growing a business at home specifically. And it's so that they can build a beautiful life that they really want. So that's the deeper purpose because, people really want, people don't really want to have a business. It's what the business can do for them, that deeper purpose. And when you hit on that deeper desire that people have, then you can really connect with your audience.
Hey, Reagan, real quick, we have a request for you to turn up your mic because you're much louder than I.
All right, how's that? How loud how's it now? How's that volume level?
Well, you're definitely louder, but
okay. Because according to my interface, I'm like clipping and distorting. I'm like too loud. So
right, me with so I think that fixed it.
All right. Well, Martha says that she is a nurse who helps people have better physical, mental, and spiritual health. Emily says, I am a teacher who helps stressed out Christian women grow their relationship with Christ so they can build self-esteem and find daily joy. So again, she's saying who she is, who her target audience is, how she's helping them. She's helping them grow their relationship with Christ, and what's the ultimate purpose there so that they can build self-esteem and find daily joy. Marquita had a really good one. I'm a blogger who helps busy women overcome fear and anxiety in their everyday lives so that they can make their dreams come true and embrace their undeniable worthiness. And she says, man, I love this. Really helps to word things like an arrow, if that makes sense. So exactly, that's why these value propositions are so great, because even if you don't actually put these on your website, now you might want to put yours like in your about section. That can be helpful, but it kind of really helps you clarify the direction of your brand. And so again, she has all those key elements that you need for your value proposition. So make sure you have those all four. And a lot of people, I kind of missed the last part, or not a lot of people, but some people missed the last part where it's really diving into those deeper desires. And Sherry says, I'm a coach who helps people who hate budgets and structure learn to manage their money without feeling deprived so that they can finally start making progress towards their financial goals. And so this is one where I might add a little bit more to the end there. So why do people want to make progress towards their financial goals, right? So is it for, peace or peace of mind or having more freedom, right? So people don't typically just want to meet a goal. There's like a deeper purpose there. And then Stephanie said, not completely finished, but here it is so far. I am a blogger who helps women with hardships grow personally and thrive in difficulties so that they can move forward with renewed hope and peace. And so that was really good. And the reason I wanted to share so many of these is that you can see how building your own brand just creates this bigger mission, this bigger purpose beyond just selling your network marketing products. And yet, all of these, value propositions, all these brands, and all the other ones, everyone else who commented, I can't show everyone's, but everyone had really great, missions and purposes behind their brand. And that's what's so exciting, is you can kind of have a bigger impact, and then your network marketing business and your products or your opportunity, that just becomes one more way to advance your mission and help your target audience. Some quick notes again about the challenge. These recordings will be available only this week. I think actually I'm going to make them available until Monday. So if you have missed other trainings, be sure to watch those before Monday. Or you can join my Adventure Brand Coaching community for the recordings, where they will be included there. And again, each day will have a challenge that you can complete to be entered in a giveaway to get a free year of access to my membership. And if it's okay with you, I'll actually be sharing a bit more about my membership today and how that can help you grow your brand. So the goals for today is to help you understand how you'll get traffic to your website and have a list of 20 great content topics. So go ahead and type yes in the chat before, or in the chat in the comments below, if you've ever wondered or struggled with the thought of how do I create content, or what do I talk about, or do you feel like maybe you just don't have anything worthwhile to say, or you're wondering why anyone should listen to you, or things along those lines. Let me know if that's you and if you've been feeling that way. And so my goal is to help you get over that obstacle and ever wonder what you should create ever again.
Okay, while people are typing in the chat, you could probably turn your mic down, because I figured out how to turn my mic down, because you're kind of clipping in the...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I had set my volume at a level that wasn't going to distort. Okay. All right.
All right. We got Amanda. Lots of yeses. Jennifer says yes. Myra says yes. Amanda says yes. Martha says yes. Mila says yes. And I have another yes. Wanda says yes. Kathy says yes. Lots of yeses.
All right. Lots of yeses. Okay. Well, hopefully this training will solve that issue and you'll never struggle to create content again. All right. So traffic. So this is about how to get, people to your site. That's what traffic is. And so there's really three main sources of traffic. There is paid advertising, there is content marketing, and there is influencer marketing. So the content marketing one is what I'm mainly going to focus on for this training, but I wanted to just touch on the other two really quickly, just so you know that they're out there. But wait a minute. paid advertising, content marketing, influencer marketing. Is there a traffic source that I'm forgetting? Is there something else that many people do to try and get people to see their products or visit their website that I haven't mentioned here? Does anyone have any guesses?
So far, no guesses.
No guesses.
Myra says Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest. That's a good one. That's kind of in the same vein of what I'm going for here. So the one thing I was thinking of, maybe people might be thinking that I'm forgetting, is social media. And so I just want to quickly address social media and say that social media just really isn't in general a good source for traffic anymore. Because number one, it's not evergreen, so it's kind of like a never-ending hamster wheel. You always have to keep posting new stuff, and then the next day people will never kind of see it again. So it's so hard to stay on top of. It eats up so much time, and plus the algorithms are always changing. So what works today might not work next month, and it's just so hard to again stay on top of. And more, all these social media platforms are becoming pay-to-play platforms. So basically, they're not going to show your post to anyone unless you pay for ads. So you really don't need social media to grow a brand. Again, dealing with all that overwhelm, hopefully this can maybe reduce a little overwhelm, knowing you don't really need social media to grow your brand. Now, I think it was Myra that mentioned Pinterest. Pinterest is definitely a great source, but it is not really social media. It is a search engine. And I would say that kind of falls under the umbrella of content marketing, because you're going to put your content on social, share it to like social media. And so kind of Pinterest is kind of in the same vein as like YouTube, or as YouTube. Basically, it's a search engine like YouTube or Google. And so that's a place where you can then put your content that we'll talk about a little bit more later.
Yeah, so just as you said, social media, you pulled up the slide, Kathy put in social media, and then Mila said email.
Okay.
Something you forgot.
Yeah. I would say though that that's a little bit different, because that's traffic. That's a little bit of an advanced concept, but there's three forms of traffic too, which I wasn't going to get into this training. But email is traffic that you already own and control. But first you have to get traffic to your website before you can get people on your email list. But that is good point to mention, that email is a very great source of traffic, and that's where you want to get to. You want to get to the point where there's traffic you own. So I guess I'll do a little bit aside that there's actually three types of traffic. There is traffic you don't own and don't control. So that's where you just put out content and then you hope a search engine, people find it through a search engine or on YouTube or something like that. And then there's traffic that you can control, which is paid ads. So you can spend money in order to temporarily take control of traffic and get it to your website. And then there's traffic that you own, and that is your Facebook or your email list, where you can actually, you're in charge of those people. You can actually connect with them anytime you want. So that's where you want to get to. You want to get to that point where you own your own audience of traffic.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole training.
Yeah, that's kind of advanced.
Yeah, so Lisa also said word of mouth and shows, limited but a start.
Right. So yeah, you could go in person to tell people about your brand and your website. But yeah, I was kind of more focused on the online. But that's a good point. There's some other things I forgot about, so that's good. So back to then the kind of three forms of traffic. So one is paid ads. For example, Facebook and Pinterest are two platforms that we've run paid ads on, and this is a whole big can of worms, and there's a big learning curve. We invested lots of time, lots of money, lots of coaching to learn how to do paid ads, and so it's definitely not for everyone. And so I'm not really going to talk much more about this unless people are interested in paid ads. But they can lead to rapid growth, and it can be automated growth as well. You just automated sales. You run the ad, And so long as you're getting a positive return on your investment, meaning you're making sales faster and you're spending money on your ads, then it's can become kind of like a automatic slot machine of sales. But again, ads that are working will stop working as algorithms change and things like that. So it's definitely a tricky thing to master. And it's not something that you want to be like the foundation of your business. And so then there's content marketing, which is what I wanted to kind of focus on, since this should be the bread and butter of your brand. And so content marketing is simply putting out a piece of content. And by content, I mean like a article or a video or a podcast, or it could even be like an image or like an infographic. And it's something that helps your customers, your ideal customer, your target market, your customer avatar. It helps them move away from those pains that we saw on the avatar matrix and moves them closer to their desires that we had from that table. So yeah, so it can be articles, it can be videos, it can be podcasts. These are kind of the three big ones. So articles would be like on your blog, videos would be on like YouTube. And those articles you can also add them to Pinterest, because that's also a search engine. You can also add videos to Pinterest too. And then you have podcasts, which is kind of its own thing, its own separate thing, which we haven't gotten into yet ourselves. So we've explored it. But as of right now, it's harder to have a podcast be discovered, just because it's not really on a search engine platform at this point in time, the way podcasts work. But those can be, especially if you take your audio and you put it on YouTube, a great way to grow as well. So the main things I think you should focus on is either creating blog posts or videos for your content that you create to get traffic to your website. So your blog post will be on your website, and then when people search in Google, they can then find your articles and get directed to your site that way, or you can again share them on Pinterest. Or alternatively, you could create a video, put that on YouTube, and when people are searching on YouTube, they find your video, and that video can include a link back to your website. So that's how you can get traffic from content marketing. So yeah, so we got blog posts. The downside with blog posts, though, is that there is a lot more competition. There's a lot more blogs out there right now than YouTube channels. So in order to get traffic to your blog, you need to create very specific and niche content. So you got to really drill down, and you can't really write about broad topics, at least not initially. So also, this might be harder or easier for some people in some niches. So maybe you're more of a writer and you don't like being on video. So maybe creating blog posts is better for you. Or maybe you aren't a writer and it's just easier for you to just turn on the camera and record something quickly. And then in that case, videos would be for you as well. So also the niche depends. So like for my audio brand, since it's audio, I need to be able to like actually let people hear things, and it requires me like showing people how to record music and how to use different software. So it's harder to do that in just an article format. So I'm going to be launching a YouTube channel for that. So that depends on what your brand is too. Maybe it works better in written format, or maybe you need to create videos. All right, so then YouTube, what are the pros and cons of YouTube? So there's less competition on YouTube, so it can be easier to rank. You don't need to be as specific with the content that you create on YouTube. And it's also very easy to get started with if you live stream. All you have to do is like what I'm doing right now. You just turn on the camera and you stream. You don't have to edit or anything. It's just really easy to create content in that sense. In another sense, I know it's very difficult to get started in video for a lot of people. I know it was for me getting started. Never imagined myself doing videos because of just the fact that doing videos is kind of scary, especially if you're doing a live stream where you can't edit or anything and you're afraid of making a mistake or thing like that. So that's something you'd have to overcome in order to do videos, but it's definitely something you can overcome if you take the time to practice and put in the time to learn. So again, videos may be harder or easier for some people in niches. So decide which is best for you and your niche, and then decide that that's what you're going to do, either creating blog posts or videos for your content marketing. So now back to the crux of what we're talking about here. How do you find great topics to create content around? And addressing the issue of maybe you feeling like you're not an expert, or why should anyone listen to you, or you don't have much to say. Well, the good thing is you don't need to be an expert. You can kind of think of yourself as a tour guide, and that you're pointing people to what you're learning and what you're discovering. So you're kind of like, you can kind of think of yourself as the adventurer. You're in the midst of it. You're learning things and you're just sharing what you're learning. And so that is following the invest, learn, teach model. So you take the time or money to learn something. And once you learn that thing, again, that is also related to whatever niche you're in, you then turn around and you teach it to your audience. So maybe you go to a live event and you take what you learn and then you go and you teach it to your audience. Or maybe you're watching a video on YouTube about something that you just learned that would also be valuable for your audience. So then you turn around and you can teach that, or you read a book. So yeah, books, YouTube, blogs, podcasts, events, magazines, all these can be sources of content. So you don't need to be like this guru or expert in order to build a brand and help people in your audience. You just need to be a couple of steps ahead of where they're at. And so I think that's really encouraging. So, and people only really care if you can get them results. They don't care if you're an expert. In fact, more and more, I think people are getting kind of tired of all the big gurus out there because it's harder to relate to them. And that's something a lot of the experts are kind of struggling with. They're having to find creative ways to show that, hey, I'm just a normal person, and you can still have success, because then they get the objection that, well, you're so successful, so of course it works for you, but it can never work for me. So that's a big thing that these experts have to overcome. Whereas if you're just a couple of steps ahead of someone, you seem more like a real person, and it seems like your results are something that your audience is more likely able to obtain. So hopefully that answers that question of whether you feel like you are able to teach, or whether you have anything value to say, or maybe you feel like you're not an expert. You don't need to be. Just take the time or money to invest in learning, and then teach it to your audience. And you don't have to worry about like feeling like that's plagiarism or anything like that. I even encourage you to mention where you learned it. Say, hey, I learned it from so-and-so. And then when you explain it, it's of course going to be in your own words. And you're going to be, again, it's kind of like you're the tour guide. You're taking information that already exists, and then you're translating it for your audience. You're kind of being like the bridge, and you're giving them the highlights, the information that they need, because you're so in tune with your avatar and what their pains are and what their desires are, more so than anyone else, because you're niched down and you're focusing on a portion of the market that maybe other people aren't as specifically focused on. So that can give you lots of ideas for content right there, just looking around in your niche at other books in your niche, YouTube channels, blog posts, podcasts, events, magazines, etc. And so another thing you can do is like look at what people are already talking about. Are there any like trends going on in your niche that's popular? Or maybe you go to a YouTuber and you can sort their videos by what's most popular, and see what it is that people in that niche really respond to, and then you can do your own take on it. Or another way of looking at it is, if you're a blogger or even on YouTube, you improve on what's already out there. Maybe there's a big question or struggle that people have in your audience, and you do a search on what's already out there, and maybe there's some content but it doesn't fully answer the question, or it could be answered better, and you can use that as an opportunity to create content around that as well. And then as you start to grow your audience, you can actually survey them and ask them, hey, what's your biggest struggle? What can I help you with? And then you can get a ton of people saying, hey, here's what I'm struggling with. And that's just content gold right there, because they've actually told you what they need help with, and you can easily go and create an article or a video on that. And then the more kind of advanced tactic is called the Google Alphabet Soup method, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So hopefully this is clear. Let me know, since this is kind of a key part of this training, let me know in the comments if there's anything about this that doesn't make sense, or if I didn't answer any objections that you have in a satisfactory manner. Or if you're still dealing with any of those objections about feeling like maybe you're not qualified to teach. So just let me know in the comments if that is you, because I want to make sure that I answer that completely.
So Jennifer says, great info.
All right, good. All right, so it looks like we got that covered then, and well enough.
I would probably give people, I'd just wait a couple of seconds, because
All
sometimes comments are delayed.
That's true. This is a delayed. I forget there's a delay.
There's a bit of a delay. Why is it called Google Alphabet Soup?
Is someone asking that question, or is that your question?
I'm asking.
Oh, well, you'll find out in a second when I go over that method of a separate. Yeah.
All right, we got some more comments. Martha says, that's the method I am currently using. Lots of information out there.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. It totally works.
Talk about teaching in your own words and telling others where you learned it. Is that where affiliate marketing would come into play?
Yeah, affiliate marketing would relate to that if there's an actual product you're promoting. So, so you could teach on a specific topic that is relevant to your audience, and then if there's a product that you're an affiliate for that further answers that or gives even more support, you can definitely go and recommend that product. Say, hey, if you want to learn more about this, definitely get this product. I checked it out, and that's how I learned this, and it's really been beneficial for me. It's given me XYZ results, so definitely grab this product. By the way, I'm an affiliate for it, so if you do buy it, I'll get a small commission at no extra cost to you, something along those lines. And so that's how you can actually, by teaching this content, you can start to build affiliate income. So you can start to build out multiple streams of income now. Because you have this brand, you can now sell more things than just your network marketing products.
Kathy has a really good question. She says, can your content be just curated at first and not your original content? How important is the original content?
Yeah, you can kind of get away with that a little bit if you're just wanting some content, but I would say it's not going to be like, if it's like a blog post, you might have a little intro paragraph and saying, hey, here's a great article, check it out here, and then you have copied some of that. You can do that. That really, that's not going to be a great way to actually generate traffic. Like, you're not going to really get ranked for that because you're using someone else's content. The only way that really works is if you're going to be like running ads to your or running ads to your content in order to get people to actually see it. Whereas if you're wanting to actually rank on like Google, then you're going to need to like create original content. And then same thing with YouTube. You can't just like copy someone else's video and upload that. That wouldn't really work.
So last one is Mila says, I was concerned about rehashing others' content, like the give credit in use for own words.
Yeah. So, truth is truth, right? There's nothing new under the sun. So wherever you learn something, just kind of rephrase it in your own words. Everything in this training, by the way, is stuff I've learned from other people. So none of this stuff is unique. Like the avatar matrix we talked about, we learned that from our coach. I just put my unique name on it because it didn't have a name. So invest, learn, teach, I learned that from Ray Higdon. But it's just kind of like common sense. It's a thing that everyone does. You learn something and then you teach it. Everyone has to learn something initially. So unless it's like you can mention, I learned it from so-and-so, but whenever you go to explain it yourself, you're going to be explaining it in your own words. It's going to be filtered through you. So it's going to become unique at that point. And also you should be filtering what you learn through the lens of what's best for my avatar, what would help them, because there's probably stuff that you would want to leave out or maybe extra examples or stories from your life that you want to include to make it your own. And again, with keeping in mind what's best for your avatar. So that's not at all should be a concern that you're taking stuff from other people and using it for your own, as long as you're not completely like ripping them off word for word, because that would be, plagiarism.
Well, and if you want to use like original quotes, like what they actually said, just phrase it as this person has said.
Right. Yeah, that's great too. And that even can lend you more authority and credibility because like wow, they're learning from all these people. They're really in it. They really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, when you have other people backing up what you're saying, then that just nails it even further for people. It confirms
Hmm.
it. So Mila said, full disclosure, love it. Myra said,
Oh,
this
great.
thanks.
Awesome. All right, so that's good. That's good to hear. So I guess we'll move on to the Google Alphabet Soup method then. So Google Alphabet Soup. So this is kind of how it works, and this is something the best way to teach this would probably be to like share my screen. So I'm gonna have a full training on this in my membership site, so you can actually see over my shoulder how it goes. But for the sake of time, I just kind of had to kind of just explain how this goes. And so the way it works is you just go to Google and then you type in a broad search term related to your niche. So, for example, I'm music production, so I might type in like music production or songwriting or something, or um, maybe if you were in the like have hairstyling in the hair or you're in the hair niche, you might type in like um, curly hair and then or gray hair or something like that. So think about all those different, like maybe use the avatar matrix about the pain points your audience has or their desires, or just think about things that they're interested in or the lingo column. And then you'll type those in one search at a time. So you just have put in one search like curly hair. And then you'll type each letter of the alphabet after that term one at a time, look at the results. So you'd type curly hair A, curly hair B, curly hair C, and you see, and then Google will suggest different searches for you. And these are things that people are actually searching on. So you don't have to guess what are people searching for. And then you can look at each of those individual searches and you can see what other blog posts or what other content shows up for that search. And then you can get ideas for what you can then create. And you know this is something that people are actually searching on. So you can evaluate those results. And then you need to see if there are any of those searches that Google gives you that are in the Goldilocks zone. So I'm going to show you some examples here in a second. So how do you find posts and they're in the Goldilocks zone? Well, there's kind of like 3 different zones you want to look for. So so you typed in like curly hair and you ended up in H and then hairstyles came up or something. So you do curly hair hairstyles and then you look at the results, and if they don't really address the query, that's either the sign that no one's really addressed that really well. So that would be a good topic to cover. Now, maybe no one's addressed it because there's not a lot of traffic, but that's okay because in the beginning, you just want to rank for a few search terms because that will show Google, hey, this is a good blog, and then that will kind of increase your standing so you can later rank for bigger terms. So definitely if you, and you know this is something that people are actually searching on because it came up in Google itself. So if you do that and you find there's no results that really address the query, so you did say curly hair styles and there's like hairstyles for straight hair, hairstyles for wavy hair, hey, no one's really addressing this, that's a sign that that's a really good content or topic to create a blog post on. And then but if you do the search results and they do address the query, but maybe they aren't very helpful or aren't very authoritative sources, that is kind of the Goldilocks zone there because there's probably a good amount of traffic. There's a good amount of people searching for that term. And it's also easier to rank for because the content isn't the best. So maybe it's like they're only like short articles, or they're not formatted very well. There's no pictures, maybe there's no videos. It's just aren't very helpful results. Then that's a sign that you can create a piece of content then that really outdoes everyone else and can get ranked there. And then the types of topics you want to avoid would be search results that do match the query, satisfy it very well, and are also done by very authoritative sources in your niche. So depending on what niche you're in, you probably know of maybe bigger influencers that are already in your niche that are very authoritative. So if they are covering that topic and they do it very well, then you probably want to avoid those for creating content. You want to focus on the smaller ones. And then once you get your brand growing and get people going to your website, you're starting to get regular traffic, then you can start tackling those bigger topics. So yeah, so this is kind of the Goldilocks zone that you want to look for. But in the beginning, don't be if you can find some of those magical ones where there aren't very good results for the query, then definitely go for those as well. So this is kind of an example of what it would look like, and an example that I did for one of my recent blog posts for my music production, music business brand. So I was trying to look up like how much money does Spotify pay for the amount of streams you get on that platform. So Spotify is a music streaming platform that music artists can put their music on and they get paid for streams. And so I was going to try and create an article addressing how much you can actually pay depending on how many streams you get. So you can see I typed in how much money for Spotify, and I normally want to put like A or B or C, and I did that as well. But you can also put in the little star for blank, and then Google will fill that in as that is like a blank. So I ended up going for how much money do you get for 1,000 streams on Spotify. So this is what I ended up creating an article about. And so this is the article I created. So starting from left to right, because I couldn't fit the whole article on the slide. So this is kind of what it looks like, what I created. And so I'm going to be covering this more tomorrow on how to create great looking content and valuable content. But you can see I used, on the left here, you can see I used kind of a list instead of just having that be a block of text. And all my text is also spaced out. I don't have any huge paragraphs of text. That makes it very easy to read. And I've got pictures. I've got a video directly from Spotify saying how they pay artists, so that gives me authority. I also have an infographic. I've got a table and all this stuff that really lends a lot of credibility to this article, even though I'm not a Spotify expert. I'm not making a lot of money from Spotify, but all this stuff is a very valuable article because I've gone and I've found the answer for my audience. I did the invest, learn, teach model. And so I published the article, I think it was like a couple months ago, and already it's getting me 3,500 people visiting my website a month right now. So, and if you type in how many streams or how much does Spotify pay you per stream, it's ranking on the first page of Google. So, and that's just in with a couple months. And so that's not a huge topic. That's not like a huge article, but think about it, 3,000 people coming to your website from one post. That's pretty good. And so then, well, what if you did one post a week for the year and you took a couple weeks off, 50 articles, each getting 3,500 visitors a month. Then you're looking at 175,000 people visiting your website a month. And from there, it's just math. If you have your automatic sales system, your sales funnels in place, which I'll talk about on Friday. So if you have, say, 175,000 people visiting your website and 10% of those people actually opt in to get on your email list, and then 1% of people on your email list buy, and say your average order value for your products or your sales or whatever is $50, then you're making $8,750 a month from your website. So 6 figures. So that's $105,000 a year. So this is kind of the model you want to follow. And that's, again, it's reliant on a couple of things, right? So it sounds a little too good to be true, right? Well, it kind of sort of is a little bit, because not every piece of content you create is going to be a hit like that. And that's not even a huge hit. Only 3,000 visitors from one article is not the hit, but you're probably going to have a lot of articles that don't do as well and some that do better. So, but that's kind of what is possible if you do this the right way and you find the right topics to create blog posts about. So it will take some trial and error, and you need to be consistent and actually learn how to create the great content. And you need well-formatted, high-converting content as well as freebies, right? So we'll talk about that on Friday as well, how you actually get people onto your email list. But this is I'm kind of trying to kind of give you the picture of where we're going here, is that you get people to your website and then you give them an incentive to get on your email list. And once they're on your email list, then you can have automatic systems in place that pitch them your products and offer them your products for them to buy. And then it can just become an automatic way of generating money, because people are finding your content on Google or YouTube. They're coming to your website. they're opting in, and then they're being sold to automatically. And then that's how you can get these automatic sales over time. But that does take creating a good automated email series and also writing good sales copy and all that stuff. But this is how it works. Once you get each of these parts in place, you can make passive income online, automated income month after month. And so all these steps, I'm going to be covering how to do that in my membership site a lot more in depth. So then the third kind of main stream of traffic is influencer marketing. And this is a way you can really quickly speed up your growth. And I'm not going to cover this too deeply either, because we've talked about this so much with our Gentle Marketing brand. We have other courses on it and blog posts and videos. We've talked about this a lot. But if you're not familiar with influencer marketing, it's where you collaborate with other leaders in your niche. And our main focus is influencer marketing for growing your network marketing business. And you don't need a website, you don't need a brand or anything like that. You just go to an influencer and ask them to review your product and then run a giveaway to their audience. But you can totally implement influencer marketing with your brand and with your website. You can do guest posts. You can do the roundup posts that we talked about in the Q&A, I think, last time, where you get a whole bunch of influencers to answer one question that your audience is interested in knowing the answer to. And then once you have that big post with all their answers to that question, you then ask them to share it to their audiences. And so that's how you can kind of borrow the audience of other influencers in your niche, and you collaborate with them to expose their audiences to your brand. And really, influencer marketing is only limited by your imagination. There's so many different ways you can collaborate with other influencers. It's just a quick way of getting, thousands and thousands of people to know about your brand if you're working with these influencers that already have an audience of people that are similar to your customer avatar. So if you want to learn more about influencer marketing and how this can quickly speed up your growth, because kind of the difference between this and content marketing is a more slow and sure approach, because it takes a little while for things to get to rank. It takes some time to find those good search terms that can actually get ranked on Google. So while you're working on your content marketing, if you want to speed up your results, that's where I say you can turn to influencer marketing. And so if you want to learn more about that, then grab our free guide at paularam.com/influencer. And that will also take you to a free masterclass training that will go in depth on influencer marketing. All right, so we've come to just about the end of the training. But before I give you the daily brand challenge for today, let's take a step back and look at the big picture of what we're doing here for how you can actually grow an income with your online brand. So you need to master three things. You need to master, number one, traffic generation. So that's what we talked about today, how you get traffic, all those different ways that you can get traffic. You need to master strategic and exceptional content creation. So that's where we talked about creating those topics that can get ranked, and also creating them in an exceptional way so that people actually get value and it's actually deemed good enough by Google to end up ranked, or YouTube for that case. And then number three, you need good sales funnel design so that when you get the traffic to your content, they then end up on your email list and they actually then buy your products and your courses from your email list. So those are really just the only three things you need to build an automated passive income online. Is you need to generate traffic, you need to be able to create great content, and you need to have a sales funnel. And I'll define this more on Friday, but a sales funnel is just your process from taking people who don't know you and turning them into customers. So it's kind of your journey that you take them on. So we start at the top of the funnel, right? Tons of people will say, find your article or your piece of content, but then only a portion will then opt in for your email list. So they're being funneled down. And then only a portion of those will buy your product. So they're funneled down even further. And then maybe you have a more expensive product that gives them even more value. And so then a smaller portion of those customers will buy that product. So you can see that's how they're being funneled down. And that is something that needs to be designed. It requires, creating web pages and email marketing and writing sales copy. But these are all things that can be learned and can easily be implemented. And so these are really the only three things that you need to master. So I'm trying to really create clarity of vision here, that you see that you don't need to worry about all these other complicated things or all these other things you need to do. It's really just these three things you need. But the only problem is there is so much conflicting information out there online, right? There's all this information out there. It can be really confusing, and you start on one thing and then you get shiny object syndrome and move to another thing, and you're just not sure which direction to move in. And maybe you're wondering, well, how exactly do you create great blog posts that people actually read, or great videos that people actually watch? Maybe you're wondering, how do you incorporate your MLM company into your brand and your website? How do you actually do that in a authentic and congruent way so that it fits with your brand, yet also allows you to grow your MLM? And maybe you're wondering, how do you actually get people to join your email list or buy your products or join your team? Or maybe you're just wanting clarity. You're wanting a clear direction to go in order to hit your business goals. Well, I want to talk to you about the Adventure Brand Coaching Community. And this is something I've created to help answer all those problems and to help you master those three things you need in order to generate automatic income online. And so this is a membership for coaching and community. And it will include regular new courses, website hot seats where I can review and critique your website for you, or just give you feedback in general on whatever you're doing for your marketing. It also include live Q&As, weekly accountability, and much more. So this is kind of an ongoing series where you can be getting coaching and feedback from me and other people in the community. And you'll learn, like I said, you'll learn these things. You're going to learn how to generate traffic. You'll learn how to create great content, how to automate your sales and recruiting, and everything else in between that goes into building an online brand and business. And so why did I decide to create a membership instead of a course? Because we have courses out there. We have our no pressure selling system. We have our email treasure hunt course. These are all kind of standalone courses that help you achieve a specific end. But we found that there's a great need for ongoing coaching and giving more personal feedback. And also just a lot of people wanting to grow an online brand, which is such a big topic. It's hard to cover that with just a static one-time course. We've also seen just a lot of need for accountability, and also just the reality that things are always changing online. And so how do you know if something's up to date? And the other thing with creating a course as massive as it would need to be on how to master all these things, it would have to be insanely expensive. But we didn't want to do that. We wanted something that was more accessible so everyone could join in and see results without having to spend a large lump sum of money. And so that's why we decided to create a membership course, meaning you're paying monthly to have access at a much lower fee than having to buy a big course. So just how much does this Adventure Brand Coaching Community cost? Well, first, again, let's look at the individual things that you're going to receive. So regular new courses covering everything about internet marketing. So we have a lot of standalone courses that are going to be in this course, could be, $200 or more if you were going to buy them on their own. And you're going to be getting live Q&A and trainings. And if I was going to do personal coaching on my own, I'd probably charge at least $50 an hour. You're also going to get my personal support and feedback. Again, my rate would be $50 an hour. You're getting a supportive community, environment, and accountability. And so doing this kind of thing, that might also be like an extra $200 a month if you're going to be doing something like that. And you'll also be giving you regular new downloads and cheat sheets to help you save time. So altogether, this is a value of like $507 a month. But don't worry, it's nothing at all approaching that number. Then I was looking at what similar memberships cost in this kind of field of creating your online brand. I found one that was actually $500 a month. I found another one just for Pinterest, or I heard about one that was just for Pinterest. I think it was like $99 a month just for Pinterest. And this course will definitely include training on Pinterest, but I'm not going to charge anywhere close to that. I found another one that was $47 a month and another one that was $37 a month, but you're not going to have to pay for that at all for the Adventure Brand Coaching Community. So you can get access to all this, right? Not for 507, not 200, not 100, not 50. But you can get access to the Adventure Brand Academy, again, which is regular new courses covering everything about blogging, live Q&As and trainings, my personal support and feedback, a supportive community environment, and regular new downloads and cheat sheets that help you save time. You can get all that for just $20 a month, or if you want to pay for the year, $200 a year. But I can only offer this price until January 11th, so Monday, because I really want to reward those who are ready to take action now. So many people, they say, I'm going to start an online brand, but they just delay and they never take action. And so then they never actually see results. They never actually get to reap the benefits of having an online brand and taking the action and everything you learn just from implementing. So I wanted to kind of give an incentive for people to actually get involved and actually start building their brands. So you can get the $20 a month price from now until January 11th. And then after that, the price will increase to $30 a month. And I'm never going to charge this low of a price again. I'm not going to be discounting it. So if you want to get yourself in at this founders level, because this is a brand new membership site, then definitely take advantage if this is something that you're interested in. So are you ready to start building your adventure brand and grow a business around something you are actually passionate about? Never lack for leads, customers, or team members ever again. Become an influencer yourself who positively impacts others, and build a passive income that allows you to spend more time on and with those who matter most. If so, and you're wanting, and this has been helpful, and you're wanting more help like this, then just go to paularam.com/abcc to join the Adventure Brand Coaching community. All right, so that is the Adventure Brand. Now we're going to cover the challenge for today. So again, that is the Adventure Brand Coaching community, and you can actually get access to that for a year for free by entering the giveaway. And everyone who completes all 5 challenges, all 5 days challenges of this 5-day brand creation challenge gets entered in a giveaway to win a free year of access to that Adventure Brand Coaching community. And so today's challenge is to find 20 content ideas. So do the Google alphabet soup method, or look at other influencers in your niche. Look at maybe books you have on the topic. Maybe look at each chapter, or even like subheading in a chapter could be a potential topic. Look at other blogs in your niche. So go and find 20 potential content ideas that you could create, and then share 3 of them in the group. I'll be creating a post in the group after this video where you can then share your 3 content ideas. All right, with that, we are now ready for Q&A. So what questions, if any, do you have about the training or the membership site or anything at all?
Over here. A good training. It's very. I even learned some stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hadn't heard about the Google alphabet soup method before, had you?
Nope. All right, so it looks like we got our first question. Myra asks, where will you host the membership site?
So all the courses that I come out with, so right now I have one course in there. It's called Lightning Lead Magnets, about how to create freebies that actually get people on your email list. All those courses right now will be through Teachable, which is what we're using right now for all our Paularam courses. But it'll be it'll be a separate Teachable school, my own personal Teachable school. And then the community right now is a Facebook group. I don't really like Facebook. Eventually, I'd like to move to a dedicated forum or something else like that. But right now, I just have the resources for a Facebook group. So we'll have a private Facebook group, and that's where I'll be doing like the live trainings and things like that. So does that answer your question?
Everybody says, hi, Amber.
Any other questions? All right, Myra says, yes, I really like Teachable. Okay, great.
All right, Kathy says, for me, Christian life coaching is a service-based industry. I do not have products to sell. Will this be something that would help me?
I might rethink that. I mean, you could have a book, right? There's a lot of books out there. Something that comes to mind is the Ludies. I don't know if you know Eric and Leslie Ludi. They have a lot of books, and then they have what would you call them, Haley? They have these training classes or sessions that you can do like weekly. They have like a weekly.
Oh, they would call them discipleship, a week-long discipleship program.
Right. So, yeah, and so then people can, yeah, those are you have to pay for those because that takes time. And I think they have virtual ones and they have in person. So
They definitely have membership websites or membership.
I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong to charge for products in that particular niche.
Definitely
Because charging, right? A lot of people don't actually take action unless they have skin in the game. So the fact that people are paying for something, it makes them more committed to it because they've actually sacrificed something. So now they're more committed to it and they're actually going to do it and implement it.
So Mila says, the Google Alphabet Soup is a great idea, and I had not heard of the invest, learn, and teach method.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad I could share that with you.
Yeah, so as you were going through the Google Alphabet Soup training, I was testing it out on my phone and definitely got different search results based on the letters I was using.
Yeah. What topic? What like topic?
So
are
I
you thinking?
I just typed in gray hair, and then when I typed in gray hair D, I got like how to dye your hair, the best gray hair dye, and then when
Right.
I typed in C, it was gray hair colors. What color should your hair be? What's natural? And then yeah, it was different based on the.
Right. And so then from there, you'd actually want to put in the search, and then you want to see what results come up, and then you want to look at what the results are. Click on the articles and see, is this a good article or can I improve on it? And also, if you scroll farther down the search results, Google will show you a box of other related things that people search on. So that gives you just an endless list of potential topics.
Yeah. Yeah, there's it comes up as people also search for, and then further down.
Yeah, the people also search for. That's a huge gold mine right there. So you want to explore those searches as well. All right. Any other questions? I guess people are just so stunned and overwhelmed with all the incredible information.
or maybe you just did a good job explaining everything today.
All right. Well, I guess we will sign off then. But before we do, just want to give you a heads up on what we're covering tomorrow. So tomorrow's training is going to cover how to create killer lead generating content. So you found, right, the different ways to create to get traffic to your website, and it's kind of the one that we're going to be focusing on. A big one, your bread and butter, is creating content. And so now you know how to find topics to create content around. And so now tomorrow we're actually going to cover how do you create content, how do you format it, how do you make it so that it's valuable and helpful and actually gets people to join your email list. So that's what we're going to cover tomorrow.
So Myra said, isn't there a website that you can go to ask what people are searching on? Something like why or what?
Are you thinking of like Answer the Public? I think it's called answerthepublic.com maybe. Let me just check.
Actually, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's answerthepublic.com. And that will give you like different things like which, all the different which searches, and are like are shorts allowed in Dubai. It's showing.
Yes, that
So it
was
gives
the
you can give you different content ideas. Um, so yeah, you might find more or less mileage with that depending on your niche. Like for my niche, I didn't find a lot of good topics for it. So, but maybe for your niche, you would. So yeah, but that's a good resource too to look at. Answer the Public.
Then Kathy says she has a few questions before she sets up her website, and she'd sent you a message about that.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
And then Mila said, "Can you contact me after class and comment on my homework from yesterday, please?"
Yes, I'll take a look at that. So that your homework from yesterday. All right. I guess that's it for today then. And so remember to do the challenge. So find 20 content ideas and then share 3 of them in the post in the group under the hashtag Daily Brand Challenge. All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and I hope you got value from this, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.